we start off with www.toastmasters.org. All right, we go to the toastmasters.org website, you log in, and then you usually you would click on education programs or something like that, hopefully. You go to Basecamp. If you need to, you choose a path. Otherwise, you go to Basecamp. And you log in as yourself, and you go to your education transcript, and you open your curriculum, and you start with level 1, but you generally should start with level 1 and give your icebreaker. That should be your first speech. But you go through and you give speeches in whatever order it works out with the speeches that you plan to give. Most speeches are going to be the 5 to 7 minute speeches. As you get to levels 4 and 5, some of the speeches get to be 15 to 20 minutes. And that's it in a nutshell. If you have more questions about completing speeches and completing levels in Toastmasters, you can talk to me, you can talk to any other member, and they'll be happy to take you through this. So thank you for enduring this video, and hopefully it was very helpful for you. And yeah, start giving speeches. Thanks. Hello, Toastmasters. Welcome to this video where I will be navigating the Toastmasters International website in order to try to show you how to log in, establish a pathway, and get started giving speeches and getting credit for you and for your club. Okay, you will have the benefit of the fact that I have now done this once. I recorded an entire session. I forgot to turn the audio on, so there was no audio. And so I'm going to be able to do this again. So I have had the benefit of a quick walkthrough. I'm going to pretend that I was not logged in, and by logging out. So now I'm logged out, and now I'm going to log in. So you'll want to click this login. Hopefully you should have credentials and a password. If you don't, I'm sure you can do the forgot email, forgot password, first time logging in, create a password, whatever. You got to do what you got to do to create an account. If you don't know how to create an account by now, then quit your job. I'm kidding. Okay, we are logging in. This should only take 5 seconds, but it's going to take a lot longer because the Toastmasters International website is not the greatest website in the world. But hey, we're here to learn how to give speeches, not how to build websites. Okay. So, I've learned a few things in my dry run that I'm going to share with you now. If you are brand new to Toastmasters and you have not yet picked a pathway, once you log in, if you happen to come onto this My Home landing page, there's a Go to Basecamp, a Learning Hub, and an Achievement Board. There's a bunch of other stuff down here too. Don't worry about that for now. Explore it at your leisure. If you click on Learning Hub, now you have the option of choosing a path. Now, if you are a new member, your path should come bundled into the cost of your membership. If you are finishing a pathway and want to start a new pathway, a path apparently costs $20 to you as a Toastmaster, and that's on you. You got to pay for it yourself, put in your credit card information, etc., etc. You can opt to do multiple pathways at one time if you want. You can be on 5 pathways all at the same time if you so choose. A lot of the pathways are the same. That means you give 5 icebreaker speeches. I don't recommend that. But if you want to be on 2 pathways for some reason, be my guest. If you want to choose a path, let's pretend we're choosing a path. You will come here. You will select a language, presumably English. You will select digital resources, because that's the only option. I don't know why it's not pre-selected. And then you may take an assessment in which the website will ask you a series of questions and then guide you to a selected pathway that they think you're most interested in, or you may view all path options, which is what I'm going to do. Now that we're viewing all path options, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. I was zoomed out. I can choose from dynamic leadership, innovative planning, persuasive influence. I've already completed that one. Visionary communication, effective coaching, leadership development, strategic relationships, engaging humor, motivational strategies, team collaboration. And I'm currently working on presentation mastery. We'll see that a little bit later. But for now, we're just pretending that we're going to pick a path. So I'm going to pick engaging humor. And you'll notice there's also these learn more about. So if you wanted to learn more about these, you may click on those. I'm going to ignore that for now. Let's continue. So it's going to confirm that that's the path that you want. And at some point in the near future, it's going to start asking you for money. So here it is. We've gotten to this page where it wants me to put in all my information and my credentials and then charge me $20 for this new pathway. Since I don't really want to do that, I am going to click on my shopping cart and get rid of it maybe. Or just ignore it. Yeah. I'm going to remove it. There we go. My shopping cart is currently empty. So let's go home. And let's go to education programs. Now, you might notice that when I went home, I was not on the same landing page that I came when I hit login. And when I hit login, it took me to something called /my_home. You may want to bookmark this page because there's not an easy, intuitive way to necessarily get there yourself. And if you do, you have this Go to Basecamp button there, which is good. It turns out if you click on education programs, they also give you this Go to Basecamp access button, which will take you to the same place. So let's go to Basecamp. Let's assume that we have chosen a path and we know what we want to do. I don't know why it took me here. I'm going to go to Basecamp again. It's going to make me click a million times. This is the beauty of the Toastmasters International website. So as a club officer, I'm going to have two options. If you were a part of multiple clubs, you would see Bettis Club and maybe the other clubs that you're a part of. I also see this other button here that allows me to log in as a Basecamp manager because I'm the club president. I'm just going to log in as a member. And now that I'm logged in as a member, I get to this page. This page has a Paths and Learning button, Speech Evaluations button, Tutorials and Resources button. There's also this kind of sub-menu here with Presentation Mastery and Open Curriculum. I often click on there because I think that shortcuts some of the stuff. Yes, it takes me right to this page. If I go back and instead click on Paths and Learning, I'll just have a few extra clicks to do. It takes me to this page, and here I need to now click Open Curriculum to get to my Presentation Mastery pathway. Now, if I'm brand new to this path, I'm probably going to be in level 1, and I would start by clicking on Launch the Icebreaker. I've already given my icebreaker, but if I were to click on it, let's see if I can view training, I don't know. I have a mild fear that if I launch it, it will somehow revoke my level 1 status. And so I'm not going to click on launch, but I will just look at a level 4 speech that I haven't given yet. So I've given the Managing a Difficult Audience speech, and I need to give an elective in my level 4. Everything that I'm showing you here should apply to any speech, whether in level 1, level 2, level 3, etc. And if I haven't mentioned this already, you generally don't have to give speeches in order. You may give all your level 1 speeches right away, but you may start working on a level 2 speech before you've completed the level 1 pathway. If maybe the type of speech that you want to give conforms more to a level 2 type speech than a level 1 speech, you can give speeches out of order that way and get credit for them. That is fine. All right. So when I did this example before and I wasn't recording any audio, I mentioned that I plan to do the question and answer session speech, but I launched the Building a Social Media Presence speech. So I wanted to show what it was like to launch something. Now, that screen that popped up briefly, if you're looking at this on Silo, will probably have a follow-up that says, if your window didn't pop up automatically, click here. I always have to do that on Silo. So if you're on Silo, just click that button. There's a little bar here at the bottom of this little tutorial screen, and that's what all these things are going to be. You're going to be following through a click-through tutorial. It gives you instructions on how to click through it. Sometimes you just click the next, go to the right button. Sometimes there's little, buttons you have to click on the page to properly advance through the slides. And you're going to want to advance through all of these slides. This was going to, if we were to go through it, there's probably going to be a video in here at some point that's going to tell us how to effectively create a social media presence. One of the things that will happen is that there'll be an assess your skills before screen. And this is going to be a multiple, I guess, 5 question little mini quiz where you assess your skills. I'm skipping it, but in principle, if you were doing this, you should click on a number and click next. I'm not actually going to give a speech for this. And then Toastmasters will take you through all of the things. Here's one where you have more, right? You're supposed to click all those. Toastmasters is going to take you through and give you a lot of supporting information to help you give a better speech. Right? And why, the benefits of social media, etc. I'm going to use this thing down here to skip all of this. Once you've gone through everything and seen all the pages, you get to your evaluation page. And this will include the evaluation resource for the project that you can give to your evaluator. If you want a printed copy of this, you can print it out. If there's a project completion form for this one that I'm not familiar with, but you may print that out. And then you get to this screen, the assess your skills after. So this should be the same on every Toastmasters tutorial that you have to go through. And you don't complete this in principle until after you've given your speech. So you give your speech, and then you assess your skills compared to it's the same quiz you took before, but now you answer the questions after having prepared for however many months it was to build a social media presence in this case. You've given your speech, you've talked about it, and now you assess your skills afterward. And ideally, you would have seen improvement in some of the areas. And once you've done all this, the very last thing that comes, there should be a final screen that says, click here, or it says you're all done. And when you're all done, you would just close the screen. And once you actually complete something, this thing that says launch should change to something that says mark complete. And when that says mark complete, you hit it, and it sends an email to the Vice President of Education for our club, and it gives him an indication that you've completed one of these projects, and he may not get an email until you've completed enough projects in a level to complete the level. But you have to mark everything complete in order to get the credit for them. And then he will then go through he or she will go through their records. They'll find out that you have, in fact, given your speech. You get credit for it. The VPE will then do something on the website to make sure that you and the club now get credit for you having completed this level. And that's about it. So I just want to recap everything. I have tried to take you through the Toastmasters website. If I didn't start with it, but we start off with www.toastmasters.org. All right, you go to the toastmasters.org website, you log in, and then you usually you would click on education programs or something like that, hopefully. You go to Basecamp. If you need to, you choose a path. Otherwise, you go to Basecamp. And you log in as yourself, and you go to your education transcript, and you open your curriculum, and you start with level 1, but you generally should start with level 1 and give your icebreaker. That should be your first speech. But you go through and you give speeches in whatever order it works out with the speeches that you plan to give. Most speeches are going to be the 5 to 7 minute speeches. As you get to levels 4 and 5, some of the speeches get to be 15 to 20 minutes. And that's it in a nutshell. If you have more questions about completing speeches and completing levels in Toastmasters, you can talk to me, you can talk to any other member, and they'll be happy to take you through this. So thank you for enduring this video, and hopefully it was very helpful for you. And start giving speeches. Thanks.